Welcome to all of the listeners and watchers out there. It is the Sneaks and Stats podcast episode 39. I am Sneaker Peter, and next to me is my boy,
the Statty Daddy.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please subscribe for those of you watching for the first time to our YouTube channel. Like and comment on our videos. Follow us on all our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and what was the last one?
I think we're good. TikTok, Threads, Instagram, X,
and X. That's right.
and X. Don't forget to follow us on X.
So I don't want to not know any every episode. So I did look it up. 39, Greg Ostertag.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes,
That's a good one. I have it here in front of me. All of the players that have worn 39.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Grant wore
On the Sixers.
76ers
Yes.
between 2015 and 2017.
Yes.
I don't think I could have told you this one with a gun to my head. Dwight Howard. LA Lakers, and his brief stint on the 76ers as well.
Yes.
Um,
And there's one more guy, but I do not know who he is.
Cadwell Jones.
Yeah.
I know him.
You know him?
Yeah, I've read about him before.
Okay.
And then there's a few other guys that I definitely don't know. Tom Tolbert for the Charlotte Hornets in 1995.
Okay.
Javonte Smart, who is an active player on the 76ers roster.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am very sorry, I cannot pronounce this. Zeljko Rebraka, who won a championship with the Pistons.
With the Pistons in against the Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
04, yeah. So
Congrats.
how about that?
Yeah.
But not a lot. Only 7 players have only ever worn it, so that's something. Well, actually, no, he did not win a championship. He was part of the Sheed trade to Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Sorry,
Take it back.
Zeljko. Zeljko.
Rebraka. Yeah.
Looks like Rebecca, but it ain't. But yes, thanks for joining us on this Dwight Howard
Episode. That's right.
Another one.
Mm-hmm.
D12, D39.
We just got through a snooze fest of a All-Star game.
Yes, I would agree with that. Better than 2023's, though.
I agree with that. I also enjoyed All-Star Friday and Saturday very much. But the game, like I said, needs
Something
needs a little,
change.
like a jolt or something.
Yeah, and I feel like I was kind of thinking, I'm like, it's kind of the worst of both worlds right now.
Yeah.
Because it's an exhibition game. It doesn't count. That's fine. I'm not necessarily there to where you need to give one conference home court advantage.
Yeah.
I do think it would help, but I don't think you necessarily need to. But because there's no stakes whatsoever,
Yeah.
it's like it's not quite a Harlem Globetrotters game because it's not. The entertainment value, I think, is even less than a Harlem Globetrotters game.
Yeah.
Even though the skill of the players is all higher.
Yeah.
But then it's also not like a practice or, it's so weird because it's almost like everyone pretends that it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the players, when they actually get on the court, it doesn't matter to them. Or it's like,
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird.
Two things to me stood out that I felt kind of bothered me. During the skills challenge, Anthony Edwards was shooting with his left hand. It's funny, not a big deal, but also it shows that he kind of didn't really care about the event. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of wish he didn't do that. And Luka did not look involved at all during the All-Star game.
Luka in particular looked like...
And Jokic was like, he did not belong there. I mean, he was joking, but he was like, he shouldn't have even played.
Which is good that Jokic said something like that, because why
What's the
were
point?
you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Anthony Edwards thing is a little funny, because you hear stories of people praising players that have played with their left hand. Kobe has that really famous shot that he hit in the corner with his left hand in front of Mark Cuban.
Yep.
And, great shot. It looks good. It looks weird, but it's like his form is good. Larry Bird famously said that, I think against... I feel like it was Atlanta. I don't remember who it was against, but he played the whole game with his left, and he told someone on the opposing team, "I'm saving my right for I think the Lakers."
I remember that trash talk. Yeah,
crazy trash talk. But if you're good enough to play with your left, shoot with it, everything.
I think
go for it. But Anthony Edwards' shot looked it was broken. Like he was hitting the back of the backboard.
And it's timed. So if it wasn't timed, if you had like a certain amount of shots that you need to make, I understand. But it's a team thing that was timed, so it's kind of like you're hurting your team.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows how serious they took it, but
no one seems to take it that serious.
Which kind of bothered me. Also, if people are gonna talk about and players are gonna be upset about being snubbed for the game, and then the starters that are actually in the game are gonna play like that, it's kind of like it's a bad look, kind of. Right?
Yeah,
because if the guy that you voted to be there is just gonna play like that, if I'm a fan, I'm just gonna vote for somebody else.
I missed the Rising Stars tournament, but I saw that
it was great.
Yeah, you said it was really good. I saw the G League team beat one of the rookie teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interesting.
The players were talking trash to each other, which was cool.
Yes, I did see Benedict Mathurin talking, or was it It was Mathurin, right? Talking trash to Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
And that was funny because Jaden Ivey did not expect it. He was like, you can't even guard, Mathurin said to Ivey, you can't even guard me in the Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
And Jaden Ivey just goes, what? Like, big smile on his face. Mathurin, you can't even guard me during the Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
And then Ivy, a little smaller smile. What?
What?
And then Mathurin just one more time. You can't even guard me during the Rising Stars game. And then Ivy just went, just walked into him. That was crazy.
That was crazy. But it was cool. It's That's what I want to see as a basketball fan. I want to see the competitive nature. Benedict was going off too, which
home crowd.
Home crowd. He hit like 3 threes in a row. So it was cool to see somebody actually playing their hardest out there.
Yeah, Saturday night was pretty good. 3-point contest was pretty fun. It came out of the gate. Everyone came out strong. They had like 3 players hit the 26-point mark,
and it ended with a bang too, which was cool. The Damian Lillard needed
he needed the last money ball to win, and he got it. So, and they had a shootout or a shoot off, I guess. Where they had a 4-way tie, and only 3 players advanced. So that was cool to have that. And then the Steph and Sabrina shootout.
That was great too.
So sick.
That was probably the best one.
And my wife asked me, "Do you think Steph's gonna let her win?" I'm like, if he was cool, he would not. He would go out and be like, "I'm gonna try and smoke you." And I think, I don't know if Sabrina went second, maybe she would have won because she hit 26. That was the winning mark.
In that type of game, it pays off to know what your bar is, right?
Oh yeah.
So especially Steph gets right.
Competitors at that level.
Yeah.
Steph even said like, "Oh, I knew I had to like turn it on because she came out like with a flamethrower," which she did.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, if she hits 29, then I got to start off hot too, right?
29 would be.
That's crazy. Insane.
I mean, she hit what 36 or 37 in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Like an insane amount of points. So when she came out and hitting 26, I was like,
and she's shooting from the NBA level.
Yeah, well, she's got that. She's got that and more.
Yeah, so, she's great.
That was awesome. That was super fun.
But you can't count out the greatest shooter of all.
No, I definitely picked Steph. I'm like, if Steph.
I mean, I was rooting for Sabrina, but deep down, I was like, you can't count out the chef, man.
I just wanted her even though I felt Steph was gonna win. I really wanted her to give him a run for his money, and she did and more, man. She came out looking like they should just honestly just maybe make it a part of the weekend. Like it's cool to see the best NBA players do it, but like throw in Caitlin Clark when she's in the WNBA.
Get them involved for sure. Yeah,
like, throw in the shooters, dude. Like it'll be. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's only and you can see the success that came out of it now. So I mean, hopefully they do add it on for the years to come.
I know Reggie Miller during the broadcast, which it seemed like a very cool weekend for Reggie to be back in Indiana.
Oh, big time.
That was another thing I was kind of mad at, especially with Draymond. Just a quick sidebar.
Yeah.
He was on the simulcast that was on like True TV or something of the All-Star game. I heard actively complaining about like, why are we in Indiana? Like, why is the All-Star game? It's like this isn't a destination. It's like, dude, these towns love their especially Indiana, dude. Indiana loves basketball.
Indiana is
like the state loves basketball.
Yeah, and it's like known for basketball.
Yeah,
like, for the longest
Hoosiers,
time. Yeah,
Larry Bird.
Was he trying to create like a conversation about it?
I heard some players were upset because it was so cold, but it's like the All-Star game's in February, dude. Like it was in Toronto one year.
The weather should not matter. You're indoors.
I know. Whatever. I thought that was lame. But I was happy for Reggie. It seemed like a cool homecoming.
Cool.
Like,
I mean,
good weekend for him.
three big ones, like the current stars, like Halliburton, Reggie, and then obviously like Larry Bird was a huge part of Indiana when he was
and the Pacers, because he coached
exactly
a lot of the, and was the GM or like chief of operations or whatever.
Right.
When they were like in their heyday. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah. So and JJ Redick said it on his podcast too. They did a great job of showing like all the past Indiana players and also the town and the history of
stuff.
And the basketball and all that. So that was a cool part of All-Star Weekend too, and I think they always do a good job with that.
I think that's what's weird is that
All-Star and Babyface singing the national anthem was fire.
Killed it.
Fire.
Yeah, I thought All-Star Weekend overall was like a big success.
Yeah.
Just the game itself was just kind of boring.
Yeah, and thank God that's the only fix, Yeah. A big fix, but
the main draw. I mean, I think Saturday night gets a lot of people, but the main draw should be the All-Star game.
Right.
Cat played really well. He was trying
50 points.
50 points. He had some crazy dunks at the end. He was just pulling up. And I will be the first person to say I'm not a huge Cat fan, but I was like, oh man, Cat might have made me pulling me towards his team a little bit.
Some of his dunks
were sick.
Yeah, he can. He's a great player, man.
He's really good. There's some attitude stuff that I question with him.
It's the attitude stuff for sure.
But, it is what it is. I did think the East came out trying to play some defense. I thought, at least just from looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets boring when it just turns into okay, you go, I go. Like
exactly, and what bugs me is just watching the players just stand there. You know what I mean?
I know other players would be mad at you, but if it was like my first time, or if I was like, I don't know, Shea or Ant, I feel like Ant especially could have did this. I would have come out like it's a game. Like I would have been like, I want to.
Yes.
Maybe someone will do that next year because now it's 2 years in a row of the online discourse being like, this was boring, this was bad. So like, no matter what, I'd be like, okay, LeBron, if you don't want to, you want to sit out the entire second half, fine. I'm gonna come out here. I'm gonna take over and like it's gonna be a game.
And that's what it seemed like because Braun said he was willing to take a back seat and let the young guys go. Right.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Ant, Shea, and Halliburton were offensively doing pretty well in the first half. You can tell Halliburton was kind of going for the MVP.
Yeah.
And then he kind of went cold or didn't get the ball.
He sat forever too. He sat. So he got pulled. I think with like 2 minutes. Yeah, I know. Pulled with like 2 minutes left or 4 minutes left in the first, and didn't come back until 2 minutes before the half. I was like, that's weak because he was clearly going for it. He had like 6 threes in the first quarter.
Hometown kid. I mean, the kid from the hometown team. Like, not a good look. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I was like, Halliburton should be playing. I mean, I know there's not a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
He should be in that 25-minute mark.
For sure.
He should be playing
especially
a lot of
this one.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed.
I agree with that. But overall, I
still had fun.
Enjoyed the weekend.
The dunk contest wasn't great.
But I like the outcome because I like Mac McClung and
Mac McClung was really good.
And I like the Julian. Yeah, I think he deserves some exposure. He's worked so hard.
But what were we talking about? Mac McClung.
Mac McClung. Yeah. Like I said, happy for that dude. Watched him a lot in high school and college. Obviously, still trying to work his way into a prominent role in the NBA. But glad that he was able to be back-to-back champion.
Yeah, super cool. Well deserved, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I think his dunk over Shaq was one of the cleanest jump over
somebody. Yeah. Because usually it's just the leg over.
Yeah, and it's maybe push off you, but he really he did it. So that was cool.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Jaime Jaquez's dunk over Shaq was kind of cool too because he had a little bit I saw before the dunk contest where he used to tell his mom when he was like 2 or 3, like I want to dunk like Shaq or something.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It was cool. So again, some of the dunks weren't that bad, but the dunk contest overall was
still good.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But that does, I think, transition us well into what we're talking about today.
Yes. A switch back into the old school sneaks and stats ways.
The vintage sneaks and stats.
That's
style.
Right.
Yes.
So just for the older listeners out there and watchers out there, we are talking about one particular shoe today.
One shoe and one shoe only.
Actually, very significant shoe in the sneaker world and the basketball world. What are we talking about?
We're picking
Wait,
up.
I forgot.
What do we do here?
Let's start over.
This is the food podcast, right? Taking it way back to where, picking up from where we left off from when we started.
A continuation of a series that is still ongoing.
That's right.
Yes.
The Jordan 8.
The Jordan 8, a shoe that was the final sneaker before the first retirement of his career.
Yes.
So 1993
was when they were originally released.
Yes.
Yep. And I checked because I know we had done this with a lot of his other shoes. I think we maybe skipped over this on the 6 and the 7, but he did wear them only after he debuted them in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Before that, he was still wearing the 6s.
Yeah.
And I did see I checked, and like just to confirm, in the early part of the season he had the hair
7s.
7s, not the 6s. Yeah. I was like, oh, those
they're
are sick.
You are a huge 7 guy. I know that.
Yeah, I definitely at some point I'm gonna get a pair of a pair of 7s for sure.
And right, I mean, I don't know if you're in the market for another pair of shoes right now. Julian's been going crazy. He's got a lot of shoes now, but the 7s are pretty cheap right now. Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
All right.
I'm not trying to entice you or anything. Make them buy it.
Cash at me.
Yes.
Everybody.
The Jordan 8. Okay. In the sneaker community. Beloved by the sneaker community, but not necessarily a favorite of a lot of people. I think if you were to interview 100 sneakerheads at a convention, I don't think you would get one, or maybe get a couple people to say this is their favorite. But in terms of design, in terms of the history of it, it's still a really dope shoe for me personally. I don't own any, but a little over the top, I think. But for my own personal preference.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because there's like simultaneously a lot going on, but then also visually not that much.
Yes.
Like texture wise and material wise, there's like so many different things happening on the shoes. There's like so many layers, but then there's not that on a lot of the pairs that you see, such as this pair, the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like color on them, so
right.
it's kind of a weird shoe. I am not a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too much either. I think I'm more in love with the history of it than the look of it.
That's true.
Even though I think the shoe looks good on foot when you're in a basketball game, like when Michael was wearing it. It did come out originally in 1993 with 3 original colorways. Basically a home and an away, which is the playoff, and the home was what people call the Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And then the Aqua, which he only wore during the All-Star game, really. And then, funny enough, I didn't know this, but I found out in 2003 when they re-released them for the first time as a retro, they released a Jordan 8 Low.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how that would look?
I did see some, when I was scrolling through like colorways, I saw some lows. I was like, that looks really weird.
That looks funny.
Yeah, it looks really weird. Definitely not a shoe that should be made into a low.
Yes.
This won't work.
And Tinker's thinking into the shoe was the first time they went with more an aesthetically pleasing look of a Jordan than the performance. So a lot more material on it, a lot more protective. As you can see, the 2 straps that go across the front. It's a lot of material. Your foot is for sure protected, but it's also a heavier of a shoe.
And probably a little stiff too, because it's really look at that. You're strapped in on all different sides.
Exactly.
I think we've talked about this before too, but this is definitely the era where they started moving away from any kind of Nike branding and starting to make Air Jordan its own thing as we know it today. So just something kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah.
I do think to me the best feature of this shoe, which I hadn't really noticed before because they re-released both this pair and the Aqua last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I never paid attention, but the sole is super dope.
Yeah.
Super cool.
They always, which we've touched on previous episodes, on how well that Nike and Jordan design their soles, like the bottom of their shoes.
Yeah.
So Jordans specifically, like 1 to 10, they all have different ones.
Yeah.
If when we get to the Jordan 10, you'll see it has his accolades on the bottom.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is cool. But this
Jumpman is like Gumbying out here.
Yeah. Extra long legs.
Yes. This is a Space Jam, Jordan.
That's actually Victor Wembanyama right there.
They knew he was coming.
But yeah, the sole is really cool. Definitely one
my favorite part of the shoe.
Easy. Yes, definitely one of the cool parts of the 8. I am a personal fan of the Loop Terry Jumpman symbol on the tongue. Kind of like a towel material.
Yeah,
with a huge
thick.
circle.
Yeah,
on there. And
I do like that.
Yes, and then the 23 on the straps kind of reminds me of like the Thriller font.
It's super 90s. The
so
23
cool.
style is so like in your face,
man. That's what I love about it so much. Also in 2003, they debuted the very first Jordan 8 women's pair. It was brown and pink. I could not find it. I will try to see if I can get that to you guys on social media if you guys are interested on that. Which I found was crazy because they didn't really start making the women's pairs for a long time.
Yeah.
So that I feel like would be a rare air.
Like the guy, Jordan. Air Jordan.
Scottie Pippen.
Scotty Michael.
Scottie Michael.
Scotty Michael.
The straps on the shoe, they are adjustable for protection. I have told Julian right before this episode that this one is probably my favorite out of the 3.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
I would agree too because I really don't like the color blocking on the all black pairs. Mm-hmm. This one breaks it up a little bit more. Like, I think with the all black shoes, it's a little tougher for me to tell the difference in the material. Like even here on the heel, like I can see now that this is a different material. Where on the playoffs, I couldn't really tell, to be honest.
Yes.
And even this, I like that it's like
it's almost
like a Pokeball or something.
I love that the tongue is black to not make the shoe too overly white.
Yeah, no, it definitely helps.
Good contrast.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite pair of the original colorways they released. There's one PE that we'll talk about later that I haven't told you about that I was like, oh, pretty sick.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, you're not allowed to know. I'm actually, when I do bring it up for the camera, you have to leave.
I'll get ready.
Yeah.
But the 23 on this one is embossed, but it is still white. But it looks
cool though.
Dope.
That's a cool feature to have it embossed in there.
Yes. One of the top what's called things that people say in terms of a review of the shoe is that it's not very breathable. As you can see, it does have holes on the side panels here and on the upper, but not really much ventilation in this shoe. As you can see, it's covered all the way around.
Yeah, it's a lot of material.
So you could, I mean, it is made to be a little more protective, but there is not good ventilation on that shoe. What I thought was cool, it features a Huarache-like inner boot system inside. So I would imagine that it was very comfortable fitting in there because Huaraches are a very comfortable shoe. And like I said, it's to be more snug and protective for Michael's feet.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
I mean, it's great. Like I said, it looks good with the basketball uniform. I personally don't know if I would ever own one. I would like to maybe someday, but this is definitely the best one, I think.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best.
Until we talk about the other ones. This is probably the most famous. More.
This is a very cool one too to have this.
Yeah.
The Aqua. So I do like the how they incorporate the different colorways onto the logo on the tongue.
Yeah, and who would have thought that purple and teal or aqua would go so well together.
You know, it's kind of interesting though, because he's had a few, like, we've seen other colorways like this, because I think it ties into like North Carolina, which is kind of interesting because I think there's one that we looked at even before the Hornets were like a franchise or something. So it's like, it's funny that it's kind of Hornets colorways and he ended up owning.
And ended up owning them,
yeah.
I think people in the sneaker community would say this is the most popular of the Jordan 8s. The Aqua colorway, because they've also repeated that colorway with like the 6. Yeah, they've done an Aqua colorway but with white. So it's something that is a little people like because of the historic nature of it.
Yeah, I think I saw one of the white pairs, and I don't know what it is, but I do kind of gravitate towards the white.
The whiter pairs are
particularly in this shoe. I think even more so than other models.
Yeah.
Here's the sole again.
Yeah, that's nice, dude. It's so nice.
Super. It reminds me of the like plastic cups, the paper cups.
Yes, the white ones. Yeah.
Get water.
Dixie cup or something. Yeah. Listerine.
Water cooler.
Yeah.
Dentist office.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
They don't miss on the soles.
One more pair that you sent me.
Yes.
Super dope.
Yeah, and a little history on this pair. Again, this is probably the second best to me. I'm not knocking the Aqua or the Playoff. I just think personally I like kind of crazier shoes, but the meaning behind this one is what kind of gets me.
Yeah, the Doernbechers are always very, very special.
Yeah, shout out again to the Doernbechers. We talk about them all the time whenever we get a shot. This was designed by a child. His name was Caden Lampert. He had Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is an autoimmune disorder. But he was part of this freedom program that Nike set up with the Doernbecher Hospital. That kid was into magic, music, dirt bike racing, and he wanted to have quotes on the shoes. So you can see he had "Rock On" there, "Brave," and he also had "Hang Loose."
I think maybe. Oh, okay, I didn't get the "Hang Loose."
He had the "Hang Loose" on the other shoe. The sole is awesome. Look at that.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. I like they changed it to 14.
The 14, which is his
cool.
number. And also, this shoe released on November 23rd in 2014 for $180, 125 grade school.
Oh, nice.
If you were able to buy it, because every Doernbecher in life
sells out like crazy.
Was selling out like crazy. The last sale of this shoe that I saw on StockX was $1,487.
Oh, baby.
The lowest ask for it is $1,000, $1,099. So a pretty penny if you do want to own this shoe. But a cool little stat from my end. The Doernbecher program that started in 2004 with Nike, up until this day, working with the kids and making all these shoes, some of them with merch too, has raised $37 million.
Wow,
for the hospital and for all the kids.
That's fantastic.
So it's a really cool thing.
Yeah,
that's I'm crazy. Glad
that's awesome
to kind of put out there and speak about. Really cool program. One of the really cool programs that they do.
Definitely. So cool and like. So special for those kids, probably
Can you imagine?
to be able to design your own.
You have your own shoe, and when you're a kid, they didn't need to become an athlete to do it or nothing. Yeah. You know, I mean, really cool thing you could talk up for the rest of your life.
The playoffs, just for anyone curious, those since they released last year, they're on StockX right now for only about $199. So nothing too crazy. But that moves us along to the man that first put them on. Believe it or not, Michael Jordan. I don't know if you knew that.
I want to see this. I don't believe it.
You need the proof?
I need the proof.
There he is.
How do you like those jerseys?
I don't know. They're okay.
You don't like those ones that much?
They're not great.
I think I like the retroness of it.
It definitely has a retro feel.
The fit too, like it's the U-neck, not the V.
Yeah, not the wishbone.
Wishbone, yeah. See, they look good on foot, man. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, they look good. They look good for playing basketball. That's for sure.
Mike got the tongue out and everything.
I know he's ready to take on Clyde.
Killing Clyde.
Sure. Yes. This was the 1993 NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake City. The West won 135 to 132, and I believe that was an overtime game. So. Definitely some defense was being played in that game.
You see that score compared to the All-Star game last week where one of the teams scored 205 points. What is happening?
And they also, I read both teams combined in this most recent All-Star game for I think 186 3-point attempts, 168 or 186, which is like way too many.
Jacked up threes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're shooting, it's just crazy.
It's insane.
It's like 90 a team.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
That's almost every shot.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right?
So crazy.
What did Mr. Mike do? In this game
Mr. Michael Jordan.
Your dash.
Had 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 6 turnovers, and 5 fouls. Pedestrian. Chump change.
Yeah.
10 of 24 shooting and 9 for 13 from the free throw line. Your MVPs were co-MVPs, and it's in Salt Lake City, so no surprise. Stockton and Malone.
Oh, really?
Took home MVP honors.
Of course.
Malone had 28 points and 10 rebounds, and Stockton had 9 points, 6 rebounds, and 15 assists.
9 points, 6 rebounds, 15 assists. I guess the 15 assists helped.
15 assists is crazy.
They were probably very nice assists too. I imagine.
I mean,
maybe a couple he's in there.
A little hoo-ha's.
Hoo-ha's with he's and a hey. A little shout out to our boy Grandmama Larry Johnson.
There he is, yeah.
Probably haven't spoke about him ever.
I don't know that we ever have.
In this
this
podcast.
We might have. I like Larry Johnson.
Yeah. If anybody has noticed us speak about him, let us know what episode that was. How did Clyde do in this game?
Let's see. Clyde.
21 points.
This was also Shaq's first All-Star game.
Oh, cool.
Throwing it out there. 14 points and 7 rebounds for Shaq. Clyde, where is he? There he is. Only played 11 minutes.
Oh, okay,
he had only 2 points and 1 rebound and 1 assist. So
he wasn't really...
pretty quiet game for him, yeah. Dan Marley had a pretty good game. 18 points, 7 rebounds.
Ooh, pretty good. All
Yeah.
shots, I bet.
Yeah.
3-pointers.
Mike was the leading scorer for the whole game with 30, and Karl Malone led the West with his 28. So
Okay.
different era, that's for sure.
Probably very fun to watch.
Yeah. I used to love on NBA TV just watching old reruns.
Of the highlights
of
and
just
stuff.
anything.
Yeah.
And-
When they would play it?
Like a full game, yeah.
Was there a Hardwood Classics TV show? I mean, channel?
I think there
before?
was a channel.
And then all they would do is show like the old finals games and all that?
Yeah.
I think there was, right?
There was, I think, for maybe a little bit. I don't know if it still exists, but I know
That's such a cool
NBA
channel.
TV, like they would show dunk contest all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Every dunk. I feel like every dunk contest because they would just always have them.
Mm-hmm.
Moving along to some games that mattered, though, and I think the best game played in a Jordan 8,
Okay.
I will contest,
Okay.
comes from Mr. Michael Jordan himself
Ooh, I can't wait to hear this.
in the 1993 NBA Finals. There's Dan Marley.
Dan
There's
Majerle.
Dan the man.
Mhm.
Game 5 in Chicago. Bulls win 111-105 to go up 3-1 in this game.
Yes.
And MJ, oh baby, he had 55 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a turnover, and 3 fouls on 21 of 37 shooting.
Oh my God.
13 of 18 from the line in 46 minutes.
46 minutes.
Yes.
He sat out 2 minutes.
Yes. Right?
What?
55 points, though?
Mm-hmm. In a playoff game.
That man
In a playoff
was
game.
built different.
Yeah.
I think what's crazy in all the times that we've talked about Jordan, and now we're eight seasons deep or so, however many, 9, I guess. We hardly ever come to oh, that was not a great game. Especially in a game that mattered. He just didn't really have a bad playoff game.
Right.
It's pretty nuts.
The separation is so huge when you see stuff like this, right? Because you see guys not to knock anybody, but you see stars now Harden has disappeared in a lot of games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Jason Tatum, still a young guy, disappeared in the finals, his last appearance there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just things that suit these superstars Like Jordan will not have a bad game like that. Just kind of showing you.
I mean, really,
what level he is on.
It really just does not seem like he's gonna have a bad game. It's super nuts.
Right.
Chuck had a great game too, though. I mean, obviously they only lost by 6, and they would come back to win the next game.
Yeah.
But then
they made it competitive.
There's that famous story of Jordan saying, "I'm only packing one suit," like when they go back to Phoenix.
Yep.
And he only needed one suit. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists in 46 minutes for Chuck as well. So
my favorite version of Chuck.
Crazy game right there. That's nuts.
Holding it down for the Suns.
But that's it. That's all I had for Mr. Jordan, the namesake of the shoe. I saw he also had a 50-pointer, I think, against Charlotte in the regular season. But I thought, 55 in the playoffs, a little more impactful.
Means a lot more, for sure.
But now we're on to some PEs, and I don't think I've told you any of these. So there's one that I told you one because, we had to do it. But first up, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is the first one that popped up. Kind of random, but I think cool. Thaddeus Young.
Oh, cool.
With the Chrome Jordan 8s.
Some people like to call those like the Spurs 8s.
Kind of looks like a Spurs 8.
Because, some players did wear those.
Or Nets. I'll take a Nets 8.
Same kind of thing, Because I think it's because of the grays that are on it. You know what I mean? But another cool colorway.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Shout out,
and
Daddy.
I like the chrome accents too. So that makes it a little different.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's a little shine on it. For sure. The Statty Thaddy.
Statty Thaddy. He did. Hey, fantasy basketball legend right there.
He's great.
He could stuff it.
That guy can really stuff it.
In this game, so this was his second game with the Nets after being traded for Kevin Garnett.
Okay.
When KG got traded back to Minnesota for his last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
This was against Denver, in Denver, on February 23rd, 2015. So almost exactly 9 years to the day from when we're recording this.
Yeah.
15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, a block, and 3 turnovers with 3 fouls on 6 of 11 from the field. So little of everything. The Nets demolished the Nuggets 110-82. So a huge victory.
Yeah. This is kind of like the bad Nets.
Bad Nets and bad Nuggets too.
Oh, that's right.
There was kind of that weird year where, like, Kenneth Reed, I think, was not doing as well.
Yeah.
And, some of the players they had weren't panning out.
Right.
The Nets did something weird I noticed too. Brook Lopez came off the bench and had 19 points and 9 rebounds. And I checked, and he had an injury earlier in the season, and then he started coming off the bench. But they just let him continue to come off the bench, which
never ended up starting him.
I mean, I think spot starts, but he never for the rest of the season wasn't consistently starting, which
that is weird.
That does not make any. I think the starter was like Mason Plumlee. Like Mason Plumlee is good, but Brook Lopez to me is pretty much going to be a starter.
And not the 9 rebounds surprises me because he's not really that. For a big guy, not really a rebounder.
No, he's not usually pulling down rebounds like that. So that's pretty interesting. Gallinari had 22 points for the Nuggets as well. So that was that.
Gallinari on the Nuggets.
That was a different beast there.
What time? Yeah, what time period?
Yes. Let me see here. Next up. One of our favorite things to do, I think, whenever we talk about, especially Jordans, but pretty much any shoe from the late 90s, I feel like you can find this guy wearing.
Yeah.
During his sneaker free agency.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant in the Jordan 8 PE, which those are nice.
They are very
Those are sick. It's interesting that they made the Jordan logo black and white.
Yeah.
Could have done purple, yellow, but, I mean, it actually kind of works.
Probably didn't want to put too much of that on there. Paired along with a Jordan 3 that he also wore, most notably sold together.
They sold those as a set?
No, but they did sell it. They did sell them as a set as recently. Like they did like a special release where it was like only a few pairs.
That's nuts. That'd be a nuts buy.
Yes.
Crazy to get both.
I think both together at this point are like $35K to have. Yeah. And then there's also the pair that he wore out there somewhere. I think someone owned. Maybe Sotheby's has it.
Yeah, maybe.
But like we said in a previous episode before, Kobe's sneaker free agency, one of the most talked about of all time.
One of the most legendary sneaker periods in the NBA.
Literally wearing everything. And this and the 3 probably the most talked about, I think.
Yeah.
In that free agency.
No, yeah, I think so.
What did he do in this shoe?
You know, this was the last time he wore it.
Yeah.
And not a great game for him, unfortunately. But he did wear it a lot during the season. I saw he averaged, I think Nice Kicks did a compilation, and they compiled everything, I guess I should say, and he averaged like 33 points in the Jordan 8.
Yeah.
But in this game, this was against the Spurs, game 6 of the Western Conference, or game 6 of the Western Conference semis. This was in LA, and the Lakers lost and ended up losing the series 4-2. A pretty bad beatdown. Same score as the Nuggets game, actually, which is a little weird. Spurs had 110, and the Lakers had just 82. Kobe, not a great game. 20 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 7 turnovers.
What was the field goal percentage?
9 for 19. Not
that's
terrible.
Actually not bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
That's like close to 50%.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not terrible. And that, I mean, even though we love Kobe, that kind of put in perspective. I'm like, dude, Mike just didn't have a bad game.
That's the difference right there. Yeah, really.
Shaq had 31 and 10 rebounds. Timmy Duncan had 37 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. And then a young Frenchman by the name of Tony Parker had 27 points and 5 assists. So pretty good game for him.
20 points and 5 assists.
I love really, really thin pancakes.
French fries.
Also, just to point out, Mike is also the all-time points per game leader in the playoffs for a career. In his career, averaged 33.4 points per game.
That was a period of time where I did not like the Spurs a lot. They were beating us.
Yes.
A lot.
The Spurs beat us a lot. Yeah,
But Kobe bested them in the playoffs more.
It was kind of like I feel like there was a little trade-off though too. Yeah. It was like they beat us in 2003, then we beat them in 2004, then they beat us in 2005, and
other odd years when they won is when they bested us, but we got them later on too.
Yeah, they kind of got the last laugh though. I don't remember the last time the Lakers matched up with the Spurs in the playoffs.
Against the when Kobe got injured against when he tore his Achilles.
It doesn't count.
That does not count. Playing. He wasn't playing, exactly. Remember Dwight got
wasn't
kicked
that a
out?
Sweep?
Yeah, Dwight got ejected for flagrant.
I remember that. Yeah,
something like that. It was really bad.
It was such an embarrassing way to
super embarrassing.
The playoffs.
I remember it was elimination game 4, and we knew we were gonna lose, but we're like, there's still hope.
There's always hope. And then this was the pair that I was like, oh, these are sick.
Okay.
I wish I had these.
Okay. CP3.
The CP3 Jordan 8P in the
those are fire.
In the old school like OKC Hornets colorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. They're almost kind of like the white Aqua. And they're close.
Yes.
Ish.
Yeah, it looks like except that there's like yellow.
The yellow, yeah.
But I mean, very well put together.
Very cool. The little splash of yellow. I'm like, oh, that. And I'm a sucker for that colorway.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And they did such a good job of the accents of green and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Like we were saying, they could have went overboard, but the 23, like you can see the outline of it is green, and then the inside is yellow.
Yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah, no, it's this was a pair where I'm like, oh, I gotta get these on there. I had a hard time finding the photo, but I was like, these are not, or the game, I should say. I had the photo, but I couldn't figure out what game this was. But this
you found that?
I did eventually, yes.
Okay.
This was in, I believe it was New Orleans at the time because it was the 07-08 season.
Yes.
Yes, it was. And the Hornets were playing the Grizzlies on December 7th, 2007. Chris Paul had himself a game. Could have been the best game in a pair of eights if not for Mr. Michael Jordan.
I believe it. When I see this picture, I think this version of CP3 was disgusting.
This version of CP3 is getting MVP votes. Like, this guy is on another level.
Yeah.
43 points.
Wow.
5 rebounds, 9 assists, 4 steals.
Wow.
Only 3 turnovers and 2 fouls on 15 of 27 shooting. 5 for 7 from downtown and 8 for 9 from the field.
That's a game.
And this Hornets team kind of was dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Chandler.
Yes. So Tyson Chandler had 13 points and 19 rebounds.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
David West, who was a killer.
Forgot about that.
27 points and 9 rebounds as well. So all the rebounds just went to the Hornets. That's all. Pau Gasol, before he got traded to the Lakers later that year, 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Wow.
And Rudy Gay had 31 points for the Grizzlies.
Okay.
I kind of forget that Rudy Gay,
everyone was eating that game.
Yes, crazy. That I was thinking, I'm like, this must have been a good game because it was a 2-point game. The Hornets only won by 2, 118 to 116.
Yeah.
Trying to see.
Chris Paul must have been so hard to guard.
It went into overtime too.
Wow.
And it came down to Rudy Gay hit a 3 that tied the game. And then Chris Paul, that was with 24 seconds left. Chris Paul with 1.8 seconds left hit a layup.
Ooh.
To put them up by 2.
Wow. I wonder if I don't have it in my mind, but I feel like if I see that highlight, I'll remember it.
Yeah, I would have to see it.
It's too crazy of a game to not kind of.
It's not one that sticks out in my head, but I mean, what an ending! I was thinking, I'm like, man, going to this game, you would have been like, man, I saw Chris Paul drop 43. I saw Pau Gasol. I saw Rudy Gay drop 31. Like
Quincy Pondexter.
Crazy, man. Watch out!
Watch out now. Was James Posey on the New Orleans Hornets?
That's probably a good call. I would have to say that he was probably on the Hornets. Let's see.
I'm gonna be very surprised. I will be very happy if he is.
Posey definitely was on them at some point. Not yet though. Let's see when he got there.
James Posey.
Gennaro Pargo.
I remember that.
The Hornets.
Also a Laker.
Next season is when Posey joined the Hornets.
So I'm not crazy.
I mean, not for that.
Not for that.
Not for that.
No.
This season though, Chris Paul finished with the second most MVP votes.
To who did you lose to? Wait. What year is
2007, 2008.
Kobe
Bryant. Yes. Kobe won. It was not super close, but I mean, Chris Paul getting second over KG, LeBron, Dwight, Tim, Steve Nash. Like, that's saying something, man.
Please do not sleep over CP3's career, guys.
He was also.
Please watch his stuff.
Yeah, man, he was crazy.
It's disgusting.
He also got some votes for most improved, which is kind of funny because he won Rookie of the Year 2 seasons before. So not a lot to improve on.
No, I know. Says a lot.
Yeah. And then the last colorway.
Okay.
We didn't mention the Wizards this episode. So we had to mention
Nikola Jokic got his
there you go.
triple-double tonight
against
to complete
the Zards.
Against the Wizards to complete getting a triple-double against every team except his own.
Yes, which I think LeBron and Russell Westbrook are the only other two to have done that.
Yes.
But I think
Oscar Robertson?
they've hit all 30 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah. Since they've moved around quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yes, so now that we've mentioned the Wizards, we can move on to talking about PJ Tucker.
Okay. Well, this episode wouldn't have been complete.
It wouldn't have been a classic without PJ Tucker.
Without both of them.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So, and a Josh Smith.
And a little Josh Smith action back on the Pistons.
Yes.
Dang,
look at those.
A terror squad, Jordan 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Fat Joe owns those.
He is large. That wasn't a pun.
Obese Joe.
And it wasn't big.
He just dropped all those Terror Squad Air Force Ones.
Those are nice.
They're great. If any Terror Squad pair goes crazy, he does a good job on those.
But yeah, I thought this was a cool pair. Obviously goes really well with the Suns uniforms from back then. Yeah. Also, I mentioned to EJ, PJ warmed up. This was a little more recently in the Rui Hachimura Jordan 8 PE, but I couldn't find any actual games played in that. So this was December 12th, 2014. The Suns lost in Phoenix to the Pistons 103-105.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker had himself a pretty good game, though. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover, and 2 fouls on 5-11 shooting, 2 for 4 from downtown. Andre Drummond, a young Andre Drummond, had 23 points,
20 rebounds,
and 14 rebounds. So honestly, close. There was a time when Andre Drummond was just like 20 rebounds, 20
rebounds. All day. Yeah.
This was Drummond's just second season in the league, so pretty crazy. Drummond used to be really good, and now he's kind of a funny player. He does like crazy handles and stuff every once in a while.
One of PJ's better games. He's also a little bit of a disgruntled player right now on the Clippers, not really getting any playing time.
Yes, he was dismissed.
He is voicing his opinion to be on another team now.
Which the only option now is he's got to get cut. So I don't know if the Clippers will do that, but
yeah,
he did get dismissed from the team just before the All-Star break. I think they had one more game in Golden State, and he was asked to go home before that. So,
ouch.
Kind of, I mean, it's I don't know. It's hard when you're at this stage in your career where you're not going to be able to be an impact player.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he obviously feels like he can provide some value to a team. Now it obviously matters now if a team wants to take that chance on him if he becomes available. But this Clippers team is obviously not in need of his services.
Would you if the Lakers could get him? Would you be like, pick him up right now, do it?
I don't think it would hurt. I think he would be another defender that we can use. Obviously, give us some threes if we need it.
The only thing I would just like to throw out there is he had in his first, what is this? He had a 6-game stretch with the Clippers before they started benching him where he went scoreless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously you have him out there for the defense, but you do need him to be at least taking corner threes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think you can take 2 shots a game.
Just a corner
3 shots a
game.
He might not be warm enough to get, or it might not be enough to get warm, but...
And there is a ton of wings on the Clippers.
There is.
So that makes it a little difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the Sneaker King there might need to be a new Sneaker King in the NBA. He needs to pass the crown on to somebody else.
Because he might not be,
He might not be in the league too much longer. Maybe he'll join all those dudes playing in the Puerto Rican League.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to say that just yet.
No.
That is our Sneaker King until somebody else takes the throne.
I think he should. If he does get cut, the Bucks should pick him up. He was good there.
He was there too.
Won a championship there. So I would be like, sign me up.
It would obviously be a team that will want to just bolster their bench for a playoff run.
Yeah.
So
that's the tough part too, is that
they get to a buyout.
I don't know what he expects, but I don't think on any team he's going to be a starter unless the Wizards. But even then, I don't think they would want to. The teams that he could be a starter on based on talent, they want to start players that are trying to improve and learn how to be in the league, and the other teams will have him off the bench, if at all.
And the playoff teams like to shorten their rotations.
Yes.
In the playoffs, so who knows what type of role he'd even have. But to have him in the league, we need you in the league.
I know.
Who we can talk about.
I don't know who we talk about if he wasn't in the league. Speaking of sneakers, though, as that is the point of this podcast, you got some new heat on your feet.
No.
Oh, never mind. Cut that.
So a little update on my basketball league that I'm in. My leg is fine. I was able to test it out, even though maybe I shouldn't But it's okay. It feels great. Played last night. I bought these for the league. These are my new LeBron 11s South Beach colorway.
Fire.
My favorite LeBron of all time. Always wanted a pair, and it took almost 10 years to get my first pair, but I finally got it. You are also wearing a pair of Heat on your feet.
I'm wearing my new Heat. Get up there.
Put it on there.
Get up there.
Yeah.
My Jordan 1 Year of the Dragon Low.
Mm-hmm. And we will feature these on our socials. So you'll see these on there.
Yeah, you'll definitely.
A little more up close and personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have an unboxing video for these, so if you guys want to check that out, check the link in the description.
Yes, that is on YouTube.
But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know what's going on with our feet. They're great. Thanks for asking.
Feet are in good shape.
Yes.
Yeah, they're healthy.
But that does it for the Sneakers and the Statistics podcast.
Yes.
And I believe next week, now that the NBA is getting back in full swing, we'll probably be back to our regular lineup of new releases,
final
drop.
Final push for all these teams.
Yes. So we're excited to get into the playoffs and do some breakdowns there. But if you guys like this style of video, again, let us know.
Please comment down
We'll be
below.
happy to do it again. But yeah, keep tuned for next week. We'll have Copper Drop will be back. I've been missing Copper Drop.
I miss Copper Drop. I miss Heater on the feeders.
I miss Heater on the Peters, dude.
Heater on the feeders with Steady and Peter.
Yeah.
What's it called? Real quick before we end it, your top 3 eights.
I mean, of any, probably the Chris Paul ones. I did see you show them to me, and I saw them, the Q Rich Knicks ones.
Ooh, that's one of the most coveted PE.
Q Rich has some crazy PEs from when he was on the Knicks.
Best. Him and Ray Allen were probably the best.
And Jared Jeffries.
They're probably the best. Ray Allen and Q Rich. Probably. That's 2.
CB3.
Wow, I'm very surprised by that.
But orange and blue goes hard.
Fire.
And then probably the OG Aquas.
Okay. And he's an OG guy.
That's what they call me. Every time they see me on the street, they go, "What's up, OG?" And I'm like, "Guys,
what's up, OG?
My name's Julian. Stop."
Julian with a G
and an O.
Julian.
What are your top 3?
I'm gonna go. Bugs Bunny, Doernbecher, and then Aqua. Yeah.
Sick.
Aqua's.
You got 2 originals in there. You're double the OG.
Triple OG. I don't know what this is. This is not a gang affiliation. This is a nothing.
Which we are not.
Yeah. But that's episode 39, guys. Thank you so much for all your support, for listening, for watching. Stay tuned for all the stuff coming up on the podcast and our social media. We will be planning some big things coming up. Next in March is Got Soul, which we will be at. So stay tuned for that. But until then, thank you again for watching. See you next week.
All right.
Okay, Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.